Hi, my name is Balvina Rios, and this is my audience. I want to speak to you about a very important topic, and that is approving government vouchers for children to go to private school. According to the National Education Association, public schools have a higher enrollment than private schools. For example, grades K through 3rd have an average class per teacher of 25 to 26 students. This is per class. Now, public schools are funded through federal, state, and local taxes, making them part of the government. Hence, public schools must follow rules set by politicians. These rules restrict public schools from providing advanced curriculum and other educational freedom. Private schools are not funded by the federal government. They are funded through tuition, private grants, community member support, and parent involvement. Therefore, private schools are not required to follow rules set by politicians, allowing private schools to offer advanced curriculum, different ways of learning, and certain religious fundamentals or programs. All of these benefits appeal to the parents' need or want of these fundamental elements. Throughout my research, I found 4 main reasons why the government should fund vouchers for parents who want to send their children to private school. First off, parents pay taxes to the federal, state, and local governments to fund education. Public schools are unable to meet religious program needs. Private schools are used by public schools when they are unable to properly provide education to a child with certain disabilities. Public schools spend close to $10,658 per student on average per year. Private school tuition averages $10,841 annually. Not much difference, right? Actually, there is a huge difference, and we will get to that in a moment. First, let's talk about how parents pay federal, state, and local taxes. Federal and state taxes are collected anytime a payroll check is generated. Local taxes are collected with every purchase at a supermarket, gas station, furniture purchase, and just about any other purchase that you make except for food, even vehicle registration. According to New America Foundation, the government relies largely on property taxes. So local governments collect taxes from residential and commercial properties to fund local schools. It is the primary source of funding of local school districts. Elementary and secondary funding is breakdown in this way. State and local government provide 88% of the funding, and federal provide for 12% of the funding. These figures translate to money parents and anyone in the community contribute toward education. Now, schools are able to teach about religion, but they are not able to teach religion, which is a very huge difference. Parents with specific religious beliefs know that religious private schools will meet their specific need. Teachers and school administrators are representatives of the state. When exercising their roles in schools, they are not permitted to engage or encourage religious activities or anti-religious activities, according to the ACLU. Many Presbyterian, Catholic, and Christian centered parents want their children in these private schools because it provides for spiritual and intellectual balance and strengthens a higher standard of living. A private school, even if not associated with a religious belief, has the ability to offer religious programs because it is not funded by the federal government or state funding. Let's make clear that students in public schools do have the right to privately pray while in school premises, and they are able to gather in a group setting and discuss their religious beliefs, even read their Bibles. And this is all permitted under the Constitution. But they are not able to receive other specific spiritual supports. Another interesting fact here is that private schools are needed by public schools. Parents of a child with disabilities may choose to place their child in a private school. And also a public school may choose to put a child with special disabilities in a private school. If the public school, through an IEP team, determine they do not possess the resources to provide the child with disabilities the proper education, they may place the child with disabilities in a private school. This placement will be at no cost to the parents. Funding would be provided by the school district to meet requirements of the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act. This is per the Everyday Guide to Special Education Law. Parents may not be in concurrence that the public school has provided the necessary needs to program for their child. In this scenario, placing the child in private school was not initiated by the school under the IDEA program. In this case, it is possible the parents to be entitled to a reimbursement by the public school for the tuition the parents paid for the private school. Of course, this reimbursement will need to be obtained through a court hearing, where the parents must prove that the school did not provide the proper education and that the private school did provide the proper education. Parents may choose on their own accord to enroll their child with special needs in a private school. These children are entitled to some services from the public school, but not in the full capacity of the school enrollment. Now let's get to costs. The public school system spends $10,658 per student per year. Private school costs are $10,841 per year per student. You may think not much difference, right? Well, there is a difference because a parent that chooses to send their child to private school is already paying taxes, which is this figure, $10,658. But if they send their child to private school, they pay an additional $10,841, making it a grand total of $21,539 per student per year. So you may be telling yourself, why not just settle for public school? Why choose to pay all this money? Well, unfortunately, a major contributing factor is teacher tenure, which impedes any consequence for teachers who have forgotten their ethical and moral and human obligation to our nation's children. Tenure and the teachers union both are considered two main contributors of bad education. Now, I understand that unions are looking out for the teacher, which is good, but unfortunately, this tool is not being used to hold no one accountable for bad education. This puts a bad taste in parents, and they choose to put their child in private schools. Now, private schools, on the other hand, are held to a higher standard. Children in poor communities are at a disadvantage all around. In contrast, in a private school, it is expected that they are guaranteeing a higher standard of education. If they do not perform up to the standards, they guarantee they're closed, they're shut down, period. This is the reason why teachers in private schools ensure that they are producing high educated students. What a better reason to support vouchers for children to go to private school. In conclusion, in the words of Ben Carson, an extraordinary brain surgeon, to educate a man is to liberate a man, referring to Black Americans whom were liberated to pursue education without restriction. Now it is time we once more rise to defend our children's right to a better education and freedom of choice, to a private education. It is time for teachers to make an individual conscious decision to evaluate themselves and execute their God-given gift to educate our country's children without a personal agenda or political influence. American parents are hardworking parents and contribute to this nation's advancement and should not have to pay twice for their children's education. As individuals under the Constitution, they have the right to pursue religious freedom for their children in any forum. Children with specific needs should not be subjected to overcrowded schoolrooms. Federal, state, and local taxes, which travel from district to district and state to state, should also travel from public school to private school. Thank you for listening.